Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nasta Preshu Avadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavad-Gita Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Narayanam Namaskricha Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tator Jayamudirayat Hare Krishna. My name is Nidhi. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I was here for a week or 5 days when Prabhupada disappeared from the planet. So at the end of my class, if you'd like to hear some Srila Prabhupada Katha, I can stop early and we can relate a few nice stories the few months before Srila Prabhupada left the planet. Today's verse is 7:10:49. Sava ayam brahma mahad vimrigya. Sava ayam brahma mahad vimrigya. Kaivalya nirvana sukhanubhutihi. Kaivalya nirvana sukhanubhutihi. Priya surid va kalu matuleya. Priya suridva kalu matuleya. Atmar haniyo vidikrit gurus cha. Atmar haniyo vidikrit gurus cha. Savayam brahma mahad vimrigya. Savayam brahma mahad vimrigya. Kaivalya nirvana sukhanubhutihi. Priya suridva kalumatuleya. Atmar haniyo vidikrit guruscha. Sava ayam brahma mahad vimrigya. Kaivalya nirvana sukhanubhutihi. Priya suridva kalumatuleya. Atmar haniyo vidkrit guruscha. Saha, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Va, also, I am this Brahma, the impersonal Brahman, which is an emanation from Krishna. Mahat, by great personalities. Vimrigya, search for. Kaivalya, oneness, Nirvana Sukha, of transcendental happiness, Anubhuti, the source of practical experience, Priya, very, very dear, Surit, well-wisher, Vaha, of you, Kalu, indeed, Matuleyaha, the son of a maternal uncle, Atma, exactly like body and soul together. Arhaniya, worshipable, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidikrit, yet he serves you as an order carrier. Guruhu, your supreme advisor. Cha, as well. Translation of purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The impersonal Brahman is Krishna himself, because Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman. He is the origin of the transcendental bliss sought by great saintly persons. Yet he, the Supreme Person, is your most dear friend and constant well-wisher, and is intimately related to you as the son of your maternal uncle. Indeed, he is always like your body and soul. He is worshipable, yet he acts as your servant and sometimes as your spiritual master. Please repeat. The impersonal Brahman is Krishna himself, because Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman. He is the origin of the transcendental bliss sought by great saintly persons. Yet he, the Supreme Person, is your most dear friend and constant well-wisher, and is intimately related to you as the son of your maternal uncle. Indeed, he is always like your body and soul. He is worshipable, yet he acts as your servant, and sometimes as your spiritual master. Purport. There is always a difference of opinion about the absolute truth. One class of transcendentalists concludes that the absolute truth is impersonal, and another class concludes that the absolute truth is a person. In Bhagavad-Gita, the absolute truth is accepted as the Supreme Person. Indeed, that Supreme Person himself, Lord Krishna, instructs us in Bhagavad-Gita, Brahmano hi pratishtaham and mataparataram nanyat. The impersonal Brahman is my partial manifestation, and there is no truth superior to me. That same Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acted as the supreme friend and relative of the Pandavas, and sometimes he even acted as their servant by carrying a letter from the Pandavas to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Because Krishna was the well-wisher of the Pandavas, he also acted as guru by becoming the spiritual master of Arjuna. Arjuna accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapanam. And Krishna sometimes chastised him. For example, the Lord said, Asochan anvasochas tvam pragyavadam shabasase. While speaking learned words, your mourning for what is not worthy of grief. The Lord also said, Kutas tva kashmalam idam vishame samu pashtitam. My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? Such was the intimate relationship between the Pandavas and Krishna. In the same way, a pure devotee of the Lord is always with Krishna through thick and thin. His way of life is Krishna. This is the statement of the authority of Sri Narada Muni. So Sri Narada Muni is speaking, of course, to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he's relating the narration of Prahlad Maharaj, the best amongst exalted devotees, the son of Hiranyakashipu. And here he's saying that the impersonal Brahman is Krishna. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya ikantitasya cha. He tells Arjuna, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the pratishta, the foundation of the Brahman effulgence. Amritasya vyayasya cha. It is Amrita. It is immortal. And Sukasya Kantikasya cha. It is full of bliss. So, of course, he's establishing in the Bhagavad-Gita, for those who want to worship the impersonal Brahman, Vedavyas himself tells us in the first canto, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwaniti Shabjite Vadanti Tat Tadva Vedas Yajgyanam Tatvamadvayam. Brahmeti Paramatmeti and then Bhagwaniti Shabjite. Actually, although many persons we see are pursuing this impersonal concept of the absolute truth, Lord Chaitanya really discourages it. Lord Chaitanya meets Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya after he takes sannyas. And he travels with the devotees, Lord Nityananda, Mukunda Dutt, and others, and they go to Jagannath Puri, where for the first time Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sees Lord Jagannath in the temple, and he faints in ecstasy, and he goes unconscious. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who's actually, at this point in time, is a great, you can say, impersonalist philosopher, takes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hardly moving. He's actually hardly breathing. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya puts a cotton swab to his nose and notices some breathing going on. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was internal ecstatic consciousness and love of God. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, being humble, was very attracted to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And ultimately he becomes a very, very close and intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After some days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya starts to explain to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the Vedanta conclusion. However, it's very impersonal. In the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is saying, Arjuna asked Krishna in the 12th chapter, beginning in the 12th chapter, Arjuna asked Krishna, which in your opinion, Krishna, is superior? Is it those who pursue and try to enter into the Brahmajyoti and the oneness with the Brahmajyoti, or the personal concept of Bhagavan realization? And Krishna tells Arjuna, Maya Vesha Manoye Mam Niti Yuktu Upasate Shraddhavan Parayopetas Teme Yuktatamo Mataha. Teme Yuktatamo Mataha. That means that the highest principle, Maya Vesha Manoye Mam, one who is always thinking of me. Shraddhavan Parayopetas, who has great faith in me and worships me with great faith, and always fixes his mind, Maya Vesha Manoyemam. Nitya Yukta, always thinking of me 24 hours a day. That is Raganuga Bhakti. There are two levels in regulative devotional service. There's the Vedi Bhakti, where the devotee comes to Krishna consciousness, and he follows strict rules and regulations. And under the guidance of the spiritual master, he gradually develops a release from the anarthas, the contaminations within the heart, subtle and gross. But furthermore, as he becomes more mature in his devotional service, he attains the second stage, which is called Raganuga. Attachment to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The holy name of the Lord, as we know, is non-different from Krishna himself. Tadvad visargo janatagla viplavo yasmin pratishokam avadavati api. Mahiya sampaja rajo vishekam niskinchananam navrinita yavat. Unless, Prahlad Maharaj tells his father, unless one bathes, he takes abhishek. Mihiya sampada rajo abhishekam. One who has to bathe himself in the dust of the lotus feet of one who is free from all material desires. Then Krishna will reveal himself to that devotee. This is given by Prahlad to his father, who was very upset when he said this. So, the devotee of the Lord, as we see here, is always taking shelter of the Lord, Krishna. There are 6 symptoms of surrender. The first one is to always feel oneself very humble. The second one is to always see that Krishna is my master. The third one is to always expect that Krishna is going to protect me. Daiviyesha gunamaya mama maya durachaya. This material energy is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha. Ashritaha. Krishna says, my devotees take shelter in me. We take shelter in the lotus feet of Krishna. This is superior to those who want to, under their own endeavors, try to merge into the Brahma Jyoti of Lord Krishna. Here Srila Prabhupada is describing that the Pandavas, they were very, very close to Krishna and actually treated him as his friend. In fact, in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Arjuna says, Krishna, please show me your universal form. I'd like to see your form. Krishna is Bhakta-Vatsalya, the one who is devotee. He's a possession of his devotees. Krishna is purchased only by pure, unalloyed devotional service. Bhaktistu ananyaya, ananyana. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai Krishna Balaram Radha Shyamasundar Ji Ki. So the Pandavas, they were very close to Krishna, but actually Krishna reveals and it demonstrates to Arjuna in the 11th chapter that all the cosmic manifestation lies within him. And he says, Kalosmi, I am time, and I am devouring this entire world at my will. So Arjuna became very fearful. His hair was standing on end. Krishna is showing his universal form to his friend Arjuna. And Arjuna is saying, this is very fearful form. Please now show me your more personal form. Maya Veshamanoye Mam. Always think of me. Matchita Sarva Durgani. Mat Prasadat. By my mercy, if you're always conscious, Chitta, if you're always conscious of me, you will overcome all the obstacles. Mat Prasadat Chadurgani. You will overcome all the obstacles in this material world. Atache Twamahankaram Nashoshasi Vinakshasi. If you act out of false ego, not deliberating, not listening to the Bhagavad-Gita, follow the Bhagavad-Gita, vinakshasi. What does vinakshasi mean? You'll be vanquished. Huh? He's just telling this to Arjuna. Arjuna is a pure devotee, but this narrative is going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to try and, for the benefit of the world, for the last 5,000 years, we're hearing Bhagavad-Gita. And the conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita is that the absolute truth is a person. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Arjuna tells Krishna, you're my friend, you're my devotee. At the end of the 11th chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, Naham Vedar na tapase nadanina yachechaya. This form that you're seeing, this very personal form that you're seeing, my two-armed form, Govindam Adipurusham, with lotus eyes, playing on a flute, the fifth note, with a beautiful Tribhanga form, who's decorated with a Vaijayanti garland, and who's always accompanied by his transcendental flute, Vamsi. That person, you can only see me, Bhaktistu Ananyaya Shakya, Ahamevam Vidorjuna, Gatum Drastrum Chatatvina, Praveshtum Cha Parantapa. You can only see me by pure devotional service without mental speculation, Ananyaya, without mental speculation or fruitive desires. Sometimes we're in Krishna consciousness, and this is elaborated in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees cleansing the Gundicha temple. And Srila Prabhupada refers to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati from his Anubhasya, describing that this temple, the Gundicha temple, represents our heart. And there's so many different types of dust and twigs and sand and straw like that. So we come to Krishna consciousness and Ananyaya, no speculation. Srila Prabhupada, when he asked me what the 4 rules were, and I told him, he said, at least 16 rounds and no mental speculation. Jiva Goswami says that we have to accept the scripture verbatim. So when Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, here I am in person, and you're looking at me, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can only understand me through pure, unalloyed, unmotivated, uncontaminated devotional service. And we have to understand, we have to keep beating our minds. We have to keep practicing sadhana bhakti to come to a stage of attachment to the Lord. Queen Kunti, she went through a lot with the Pandavas. They lost everything. They were Duryodhana administered poison to Bhima. They built a Shalak house for the Pandavas and then set it on fire. Every time, Krishna protected them. Every single time. So Queen Kunti and the Pandavas, her sons, went through great trials and tribulations. Vipadat shantu tashachrat tacha tacha jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. She says, I wish that these calamities would come again and again, because then I will see you again and again, and thus I'll stop the repetition of birth and death. Janma mrityu jiravyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Krishna says knowledge is that one who sees the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease. Dukkha doshanu darshanam. So the Pandavas didn't just, because they're devotees of Krishna, did not have a nice, easy life. Devotees, as Srila Prabhupada used to say, devotional service is not easy. It is not easy. It is very difficult. And Krishna, there are so many trials. Maya will try to infiltrate our minds. The mind is the enemy of the beginner devotee. Arjuna himself said in the 6th chapter that the mind, bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaya atmana jitaha, ashamshaya mahabaho manu durni grahachalam. Arjuna is saying, chanchala himana Krishna, pramati balavadridam. He says, when my mind is full of chanchala, it is always flickering, it is always hankering and lamenting. It is very strong and very stubborn. Even in devotional service, our mind, unless we beat it with sticks, by performing sadhana bhakti, the austerities of simple living, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, performing sadhana. This will give us strength to continue in devotional service. Once we do that, we may become proud that, oh, I'm such a good devotee. These are subtler contaminations of the mind, as Bhakti-Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhakti-Siddhanta in the cleansing of the Gucha Mandir, where in the purport Prabhupada says, there are various tiny little contaminations within the mind and the heart of the devotee that he has to clean out. Lord Chaitanya very rigorously had his devotees sweeping the Gundicha Mandir, inside, outside, all the roadways coming to the Gundicha Mandir. He was preparing for Lord Jagannath to come there. Kutinati. Bhaktisiddhanta said, Kutinati, fault finding. The mind is always has a tendency to fault find in the neophyte stage. If we fault find, we're committing the hati offense, the hati aparad. What is a hati aparad? Blaspheming devotee of the Lord in your mind, not necessarily verbal. Blaspheming devotees of the Lord who've dedicated their lives to the propagation of the holy name. All the devotees that are under the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, our business is to propagate this message throughout the world and deliver the fallen souls who are on the royal road to hell. That's described by, in the 5th canto, it's described the hellish planets. 24 hellish planets. Trivedam Narakasedam Dwaram Nashnam Atmana Kama Krodha Tatalobas. The gateways leading to hell, Rishabhadev says. Mahatsevam Dwarma Hurvi Muktes Tamur Dwaram Yoshita Shangi Shangam. We want to take shelter of the Mahatmas. That means approaching all devotees, whether they're new devotees, old devotees, middle devotees, with a humble state of mind. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, string this verse on the mala of the holy name. Trinadapi Sunechana, Todor Api Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena. Amanina Manadena. Always feeling oneself lower than the straw on the street. Always offering respects to all the Vaishnavas and everyone, even those who are not Vaishnavas, but never expecting any respect in return. That's the other contamination in the heart, prayaschita. Prayaschita means I want some social prestige, I want some following, I have a big ahankar, I have to feed it. Another contamination in the heart. If we want the Lord to enter into our hearts, we have to beat this mind, this false ego. The mind is accompanied by the false ego. Asham Shaya Mahabaho Manu Durni Graham Chalam. Manu Durni Graham. The mind is always pushing. So we cannot take our foot off the gas. We have to constantly push ourselves with determination, utsaha nischayat dharyat. Enthusiastic, patience, and confidence. And tat karma pravartanat, following in the footsteps of the great acharyas. We're blessed. We have the great acharyas. We're here in the area where Rupa Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Raghunath Bhatta Raghunath Das, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami were wandering around. They were very, very expert at scrutinizing Vedic scriptures and giving us wonderful literatures by which we can cultivate our pure love of Krishna, cultivate pure devotional service. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami wrote many, many books, 100,000 verses he composed, were verses describing the more personal pastimes, the more intimate pastimes of the Supreme Lord with his cowherd boyfriends, his sakis, with his parents, Mother Yashoda, the older gopis, and ultimately his pastimes in this area where he would act like a young teenage boy, Kishori, and the gopis, Parikiras. And he would be, Krishna would be in the forest playing his flute and enchanting the hearts of the gopis. We're all in this area. We're planning to go. Today they're going to Vrindavan, they're going to Radhakund. Rupa Goswami says, the holiest place in the entire universe is where Radharani took bath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling to Vrindavan, he came to Vrindavan and he was rolling in this pond in the middle of a field, just rolling around in ecstasy. And he established, he validated that is where Radharani would bathe, the Radhakund, the most holy place in the entire universe, from Brahmaloka through the heavenly planets, middle planets, lower planets, hellish planets, so many planets, so many gods, so many demons. The holiest place is Radha-kund and Shyamakund. It's a few minutes away, and we get to take bath there. This is the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. This is the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, and the great acharyas. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they were empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give us this wonderful nectar, instructions on how to become devotees of the Lord and continue. So at the time of death, we remember the Supreme Lord and go back to the spiritual abode. And as it's mentioned here, Krishna was Bhakta-vatsalya. He was serving the Pandavas as their friend. And Arjuna is saying, I treated you as a friend. I treated you as I was so familiar with you. And now I see, Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Devyam, Adi Devana Jam Vibhum. There's a nutshell. Arjuna is describing in a nutshell who this cowherd boy is. Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram. Pavitram means the supreme pure, the supreme absolute truth. Param Brahm, Param Dham, the supreme shelter. Purusham Shashvatam, the supreme person, the original person, Govindam Adi Purusham. We hear Yamuna singing it every day throughout the whole planet. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Prabhupada told her, you sing this and then everyone should play Yamuna's singing, because she had so much devotion and attachment to Srila Prabhupada. So now we've been hearing it for so many years. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Produced by Apple Records, George Harrison. So that is the sum and substance of Srila Prabhupada's purports here, purport in this particular text. And we can open up if some persons have questions or Some of my godbrothers here like to relate some pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. If you had any Srila Prabhupada pastimes, we can talk about it. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Jai Prabhu?
I'd like to hear some of your pastimes.
Okay, so I was on the West Coast. You must be, what temple are you from? San Francisco. Oh, 72. I was there in 73 with Jayananda. Just a little bit. We used to go out and he'd have garlands on and he'd do a train chatting in Chinatown.
Must have known each other.
Vijitatma had joined, I think, 73 or something. So I was a book distributor, devotee on the West Coast, LAX, other places. I traveled with Ganapati, Maharaj, Rida, Dharma. We traveled all over the States. So I never got a chance to, Prabhupada used to say that you go out and distribute books, go out and preach with great fervor. And so, I mean, Srila Prabhupada was amazed. The first year we had huge December Christmas marathons. I think it was 72. We distributed 1 million books in 1 month. That was unheard of. And Srila Prabhupada, he was like, this is miraculous. Who's ever distributed 1 million religious books in a month? And so the whole priority was that we should go out, distribute books. So I was always out there, and my temple president would never let me come for Gaur Punim festivals. Bahudak in Vancouver. So finally in 1977, when Srila Prabhupada got really sick, they finally allowed me to come in November. So I came in November with some devotees from Vancouver, Partha Uttama, and there were devotees here. Srila Prabhupada was very, very ill. Pradyumna was here, Harisori, Satsarup Maharaj, Hamsaduta was here, so many devotees. Brahmananda was here. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to go on a bullock cart ride. At that time, Srila Prabhupada had no flesh on his body. He was just sustaining his body like a yogi, sustaining his life like a yogi. And so there were two parties. One party was saying, Prabhupada said he wants to go to all the 7 prominent temples of the Goswamis on a bullock cart, which Lokanath Swami was arranging. The other party said that the Kaviraj, Prabhupada's doctor, said if he goes on a bullock ride, he will leave his body immediately. It's too harsh. So this was going back and forth. Anyway, eventually, Srila Prabhupada decided not to go on the bullock cart ride. At that time, Akinsha Krishna Das Babaji had come to visit Prabhupada. He's a self-realized soul, pure devotee of the Lord. He was living at Vrindavan. So when he came in the room, Srila Prabhupada was there. The room was there was just amazing effulgence in the room from him and Srila Prabhupada. But anyway, prior to, Harisori was telling us about Prabhupada's his few final days. Srila Prabhupada had gone to Bhubaneswar in the fall, in the autumn of 77, to encourage Gaur Govinda Maharaj, because he was in the middle of this jungle where there was lots of snakes. No one would go there. But Gaur Govinda Maharaj had committed himself to building a temple for Srila Prabhupada in Orissa. So Prabhupada went there to visit him, and the doctor had given Srila Prabhupada a very, very strict diet. It was boiled potatoes, boiled vegetables. So when Srila Prabhupada went there, he had met up with one of his disciples, Brahmananda's brother, Gargamuni. Gargamuni was also sick, And the Kaviraj put him on a boiled vegetable diet. But Gargamuni had a Bengali cook. And Bengalis, they cook, it's all spicy and everything. So Gargamuni and Srila Prabhupada were talking. And Prabhupada said, I can't stand this boiled vegetable diet. He said, I'd rather, this is horrible. Gargamuni, call your cook. So they secretly had the cook make kachuris, deep fried kachuris, and, delicious dal, and, full-on thali feast. And Prabhupada went there with Gargamuni, and they were eating it, and then they got discovered. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he busted them, basically. And he said, Prabhupada, you're not supposed to eat it. What are you doing? You can't digest, Prabhupada said, myself and Gargamuni, we'd rather die than eat boiled vegetables. So actually, Prabhupada, although the Kaviraj said he's not going to digest, he completely digested everything. It was like a mystic thing. And so that was prior to him going to Hardwar Rishikesh. He went to Hardwar Rishikesh. He was feeling a little better. But then his health deteriorated, and he came to Vrindavan. And devotees were called from around the world. Devotees were chanting in every temple. And I was under Jagadish. Jagadish was my GBC. You know Jagadish? Jagadish? Yeah. And anyway, we were having lunch. There was a lunch room right out here. We take prasadam out here. Behind here was Raman Reti. There was a Krishna Balaram tree, and you just walk to the Goshala or walk to the Yamuna and take bath. I was 77. Now you can't even find the Yamuna. But the Kaviraj, he told us on November 14th, we're having prasad, and he said, Prabhupada's going to leave the planet around 7:30, just by feeling Prabhupada's pulse. That morning I'd gone into Prabhupada's room at 2:30. I got up early, and we were chanting for Srila Prabhupada. Bhardraj was there, Jayadvaita, and Bhakti True Maharajas were serving Srila Prabhupada some drops of orange juice. Srila Prabhupada, right up to that day, had been translating the 10th canto, 3rd volume, about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan as a Poganda, in his Poganda period, 6 years to 10. And Kamsa was, of course, Prabhupada was writing about Kamsa and so on. And then in his purport, you can read it, he's saying, so the world is filled with Kamsa-like men. And Krishna is a source of both knowledge and forgetfulness. So forgetfulness is basically atheism. And because of the atheism, they're very proud of their nuclear weapons. So in that purport, you'll read Prabhupada saying one day they will probably use these nuclear weapons because of all the sinful activities they're committing, specifically cow killing. So he was speaking in the dictaphone. There's a picture of it in Srila Prabhupada's quarters. Jayadvaita was holding the dictaphone and recording practically up to his last day. Srila Prabhupada was still recording Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada, we went to Srila Prabhupada's quarters and chanted for him for about 5 or 6 hours. We're all crowded around him. Yadobar was filming it. And of course, Prabhupada told us, don't think this won't happen to you. I mean, he was 82, he'd had heart attacks in New York, heart attacks on the Jaladuta. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada chanted Hare Krishna, went back to the spiritual world. Then, totally in ecstasy with Lord Krishna right now, is Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. But Jagadisha, he came up and he was organizing the digging of Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi. It was sandy, so it wasn't very hard to dig. So it started off with about 20 devotees digging. By midnight, there was two devotees left, two brahmacharis, Abhinanda from Seattle and myself. And we got the wonderful service of finishing the digging of Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi right up until 6 o'clock. We were young brahmacharis. I was 26 years old. Abhinanda was, do you know Abhinanda? From Seattle, book distributor. I don't know where he is now. You know? He's in San Diego? Oh, nice. How's he doing? Nice, nice. I know he was in Gujarat for a while, right after Prabhupada left, in Gujarat, in the late 70s. Anyway, so that was our service under a person called Jagadish GBC. So those are a few stories from the final days. Prabhupada, of course, in Los Angeles, when we went to see Srila Prabhupada, when he arrived, he come to Los Angeles, 75s. Prabhupada was always very happy because the book distribution was incredibly, it was a frenzy of book distribution. It was just San Francisco, Los Angeles, massive amounts of books were being distributed, Bhagavatams. Every time Srila Prabhupada finished a canto, he would challenge us to distribute them. So, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto. But Srila Prabhupada was obviously very, very happy when he came to America in the mid-70s. It was a very powerful time. And Srila Prabhupada, I remember him giving a class one day. Is it time to stop? 9 o'clock? I'll just finish this quick story. Srila Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasa in LA, Los Angeles, and he said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that intelligence is far more powerful than raw, strength. Because there was a karate studio right behind Srila Prabhupada's room in Los Angeles. And they're constantly, making noise with karate, and Prabhupada was just laughing and shaking his head. So he brought this up, and he gave us a story about a lion who was eating all the animals in the forest. And so the forest animals came together and struck up a deal with the lion. Each day or whatever, one of the forest animals would voluntarily offer themselves in sacrifice, and the lion would eat them. Srila Prabhupada was really, when he was telling this story, he was really smiling. So he said when the rabbit's turn came up, the rabbit went near a blind well, an empty, dry well, and he was standing there, and the lion came by and said, "Oh, thank you. You're my meal for today, are you?" And the rabbit said, No, I belong to another lion. He's in the well. And the lion said, "Really?" And Srila Prabhupada was just really amused telling these stories. So the lion went into looked into the well, and Prabhupada said, the rabbit said, yeah, just call out and you'll hear him. So the lion roared, and of course the echo came back up the well, and the lion got angry and jumped in the well after the, fantasy of a lion. And Srila was just grinning from ear to ear, and he said, all finished. That was a very funny story at the time. So it's time to quit, time to stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.